It was a gathering of creme de la creme of the Nigerian society at the International Conference Center, Abuja, when a book titled Muhammadu Buhari, The Challenges of Leadership in Nigeria was launched as one of the contributions of the author, Professor John Pardon, to the development of leadership and governance in Nigeria. The American author, Professor John Pardon, specially interested in leadership and governance in Africa, and Nigeria in particular, who has known President Buhari for about 30 years, said his motive for writing the 320 pages, 24 chapters divided into 3-part book was to introduce President Muhammadu Buhari to an international audience and a desire to address the issue of leadership and challenges in the world.
My original motivation was to introduce President Buhari to an international audience on the assumption that Nigerians already knew their new president. But increasingly I came to feel that perhaps Nigerians might find it useful to review dispassionately his public life. Many are familiar with the specific details of events, but an even-handed overview might be needed to provide balance. I also wanted to address the issue of leadership, particularly during periods of high stress. In the past, one such period was the Civil War. Another was the influx of petroleum dollars at a time when financial and legal institutions were still evolving.
Chairman of the occasion, General Yakubu Gowon, retired, described President Buhari as a fighter and a man of destiny, adding that he deserves every form of praise and criticism he gets as the president of one of the most populous black nations in the world.
Of great pride and honor for me to be here at the public presentation of Muhammadu Buhari, The Challenges of Leadership in Nigeria, which has been described as a penetrating biography of Mr. President. I do not expect the book to be anything less than as it has been described. The more so as everyone created by God, and particularly put in a position of leadership, is a story waiting to be told.
The reviewers of the book, who took their turns to talk about the leadership qualities of President Buhari from his military days, described the former head of state in their own words.
But essentially, what is important from this book is a Buhari being an example of focus in Nigeria. A Buhari whose calling to lead at a very critical moment of our history. Each time, then a Buhari that is disciplined from beginning of his life through the journey of a professional career and completely a democrat.
President Muhammadu Buhari has shown great love for our country, both as a general and later as an elected president. He never allowed either a foreign army or insurgents to take control of any part of our dear country. As a general officer commanding the 3rd Armored Division of the Nigerian Army in Jos, he moved with speed to recover Nigerian territory around Lake Chad area that had been briefly occupied by foreign troops.
It is an honor to participate in the launch of Dr. Payton's book on the challenges of leadership in Nigeria as exemplified by the life of President Buhari.
Former President Olusegun Obasanjo, who is the special guest of honor, in his remarks said the book confirmed what he knew and what people had told him about President Muhammadu Buhari.
Simple and chronological presentation in short doses make the book readable without stress and make you not to want to put it down once you start reading it.
A chairman of the organizing committee, who is the governor of Ogun State, Ibikule Amosu, cleared the air about any political affiliation and undertone in the book.
The invite to this book presentation made it very clear that it's neither a state nor official program, and attendance is not a matter of duty, but entirely voluntary. Secondly, as the notice was so short, we also regard it as a polite duty to extend courtesies and appreciate the attendees. As you may already be aware, Professor John Panden, a great academic, though American, is no stranger to our country. Some 30 years ago, he published the biography of one of our revered elders, Alhaji Sir Ahmadu Bello. We learned that he also did some work with some of our universities at different times. The organizing committee salutes his industry, scholarship, and more importantly, his friendship and love for Nigeria.
Other dignitaries present at the event who described President Buhari as an exemplary leader whose leadership qualities have spanned over a long period also talked about the challenges of leadership in Nigeria as a nation.
I have not been privileged to read the book, but from the information I gathered from the reviewers and all comments that were made here, it's a piece that must be read by all Nigerians. This is an example of a man who has given exemplary leadership and has been prudent, and is needed at this time in the history of Nigeria, where we're having security, economic, and social vices all over the place. A man that is disciplined right from youth, in his school days, in his career in the military, and then his venture into politics. He has really demonstrated that he's a man that we can kill behind to have good leadership.
The challenge of leadership in Nigeria is almost the same thing as the challenge of leadership in Africa. It's not a bread and butter thing. You know, coming into leadership in Nigeria or in Africa, you have a lot of challenges in your hand. We have poverty, we have crisis in terms of even the people themselves, we have developmental problems, we have so many problems. And of course, the civil society as the general public, how do you manage different political interests and ideological interests? Challenges of leadership. So we are here today to examine some of the basic challenges of leadership in Nigeria.
High point was the presentation of the book. The event was well attended by President of Chad, Niger Republic, Equatorial Guinea, Cameroon, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, former Vice President Namadi Sambo, Senate President Bukola Saraki, Speaker Yakubu Dogara, state governors, traditional rulers, members of the National Assembly, ministers, and members of the organized private sector. From Abuja, I am Festus Ejiroge Nefifen for Ben Television.
The current economic recession is now taking toll on the activities of Nigerian Football Federation, as it is finding it difficult to prosecute World Cup qualifier campaign next Sunday. The chairman of the NFF, Amaju Pinnick, made this known when he appeared before the Senate Committee on Sport in Abuja. Pinnick said NFF is incapacitated financially ahead of Nigeria-Zambia match before next Sunday in Zambia.
But the missing link is financial incapacitation, which activates practically everything you do on the field and off the field. Why? Before now, we have done a representation to government for intervention, because funds are not coming in from our sponsors, which they try to explain about the reflection as it relates to the economy of the country at the moment, and it's been very, very difficult for them. That's what they claim. So we didn't have any option than to resort to writing to government, which we did, and we are still awaiting a response from them. And the match is in 5 days. We made arrangement, we put all arrangement on ground already.
Nigerian Football Federation chairman also expressed concern over the inability of the federation to take care of the basic needs of the invited players.
So we couldn't buy their ticket. because, sorry to say, our traveling agents are going out close to 300 million. So there's no point, there's no way she can or I should go bankrupt, the company will go bankrupt. So now we have to request the players to come with an economic ticket, you know, a reflection of what is happening in the economy. And that, I mean, they were very enthusiastic. Most of them, 80% of them, would like that request. If you want to upgrade, you can upgrade. But what we're going to pay for, subject to ability of fund, is the economic ticket, you know. And we really want to motivate them. Part of the budget we said was also their match bonus. So if they win the game, each of them will give their match bonus right away, which is a major motivating factor. You know, those are the things that when I go around, I'll communicate with the leadership of the sports committee in making sure, in making them know, because the time is very short, so that I can brief you.
Meanwhile, the chairman of Senate Committee on Sport, Senator Obinna Ogba, has been mandated to do a follow-up on the Minister of Sport, Solomon Dalrong, ahead of next Sunday match between Nigeria and Zambia.
So with all the same, as directed, I'll try to see if I can see the Honourable Minister tonight, tomorrow morning. But personally, I am not happy that each time we invite the Honourable Minister, he will not honor the invitation. It doesn't show any seriousness. And that's why I continue to say, those in authorities, they should look for people who have interest, who knows about the game. Because if you are upon somebody who knows about sport, who have interest in sports, I don't think it will be that, because he will have the calendar himself. And he won't wait for the day to come to start looking for the money.
In Abuja, Moyiwa Bamdele reporting.
Hi, Mike.
Babe, it's been over 12 hours. Are you done thinking about it? Is the answer yes?
Convince me.
I know how much confidence style mean to you. Let me take you somewhere.
Where? What's that?
A superior leading international hospitality chain in the heart of Africa.
And?
They offer very distinct services. Their meeting halls and all their hotels offer conference solutions that can help plan a perfect function for any occasion. They feature outdoor catering and provide services for any size event.
Keep going. You got me thinking now.
The beauty, the decor, and the views. It's the hotel experience you always dreamed of. They have up-to-date entertainment and a variety served at the fast food restaurant and snack bar. Oh, and don't even get me started on the garden bar or the nightclub. You would have everything you need within your reach without having to go out.
Wow. So what if I want to...
Cook? They got you, babe. The rooms are thoughtfully furnished with facilities that aid proper cooking, just like you would at home.
Where is this place?
And it's sweets.
Wow.
So, will you marry me?
Yes. How can I refuse?
Not at Sweets, a colorful affair.
The embattled former chairman of House of Representative Committee on Appropriation, Abdulmumin Jibrin, has vowed to expose more instances of corruption in the Green Chamber. Jibrin, while addressing newsmen in Abuja, accused the Speaker of the House, Yakubu Dogara, of emotionally blackmailing members of the House with allowances and other benefits.
I was seated where Hashim was practically something like that, and he was seated somewhere here. And the first thing he said, number 4 citizen, Federal Republic of Nigeria, you don't understand the mess that goes on there, is that I would do anything that I can. Wallahi, tallahi, this is what he said. I would do anything that I can to protect your allowances. This is the list we've collected since I came to National Assembly. There have been instances where members have taken so much beyond that. So why will somebody try to make a noise over issues of allowances? And before you know, in the hall, say Dogara, 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 because he has touched the issue of allowances. And when they finished, I now raised my hand and I said, I want to address the sitting. 1 or 2 members raised the objection, and before you know, the meeting went rowdy, and Dogara left the meeting. But already, he has already dropped the poison. And so we went on Tuesday, and the House was quiet amid such grievous allegation. Some people of conscience in the House keep saying, look, what are you guys doing? You want to pretend? It's a blackmail he used. So when I was saying he blackmailed members, people don't understand what I'm talking about. That's the blackmail that he used. And it's so simple. So what are we supposed to do? Blow up the blackmail so that everybody can be free. Those who will go to jail, let them go to jail.
Jibril was suspended on September 28th by the House after being indicted for allegedly bringing members of the lower chamber into disrepute. On his part, Jibril maintained that all allegations against him are false, gave reasons why he did not appear before the House Committee on Ethics and Privileges.
The left, go to the right, and look at allegations have been raised against me. Allegations have been raised against me that turns out to be false. What I am saying is that for the 5 years I've been in the House of Representatives, I've never abused my office. I've never committed any fraud, and I've never corruptly enriched myself. That is what I can see. But any other person can raise allegation against me. Take it to the EFCC, let me be investigated. If found wanting, I should be prosecuted. The people asked me, why didn't you go before the committee? Why should I? The chairman of that committee had made public comments, several public comments, attacking my position on this issue. And I know the alliance of some members of the committee with the speaker. But even at that, my first thought was that if they can meet the demand of making it public, I will attend. Then they said they will make it public. But I'm an insider. I know that on the day of an event, the speaker can instruct the sergeant-at-arms or whosoever to shut down the gates, and guests cannot come in. It has happened not once, not twice, not three, not 4 times.
He commended President Buhari for maintaining silence on the issue to allow rule of law take its place.
For me personally, I'm extremely happy and I'm very comfortable that the president had not spoken. If the president had come out at the early stage of this crisis and was talking, and the presidency releasing statements, etc., by today, I'm sorry to say this, Nigerians knowing who they are, or knowing who we are, Nigerians would have said the presidency is using me to fight the House of Representatives. It would have been counterproductive. Whether the president speaks or the president is not talking about it, allegations have been raised, petitions have been submitted. Every citizen of this country has a responsibility to play in this. Members of the House of Representatives have failed to play their own responsibilities.
Jibril had accused the speaker and 3 other principal officers of being corrupt and called for their resignation and prosecution. From Abuja, LM Chukwemeka reports.